Okay, hello everybody. Today we are here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in the TBM 930. We have a 76 nautical mile flight from Bravo Uniform Romeo, Bob Hope Burbank, to Sierra Bravo Alpha, Santa Barbara Municipal. Both of those are Orbx airports and they look fantastic. We'll be flying IFR via a TEC route, ending in a VOR approach to Santa Barbara. I'll talk a little bit about what TEC routes are, where you can look them up, and how you can enter them into the flight planner from Microsoft Flight Simulator. So let's hop into the pilot seat and get started. If you use flight planning tools like Skyvector to plot out your IFR flight plan, you do not need to make it up from scratch. You can click on Routes on the right-hand side and see what routes pilots have filed. It will tell you the preferred routes as well as the number of times they've been filed. So the bottom two routes look like standard IFR routes, but the top one just says BURP39. So what is BURP39? When you fly a route which requires talking to ATC, you'll talk to a series of controllers including tower, approach, and center, and then back to approach and tower again for the landing airport. However, there are canned flight plans called Tower En Route Control Routes, or TEC routes, which lets you avoid talking to center altogether. So for those, you'll talk to just tower and approach controllers for the entire route. They're generally low altitude, and you can look them up based on the pair of airports that you'll be flying to and from. The FAA has a preferred route database, so if you go to their website and put in your two airports, it will tell you the preferred route, and if a TEC route exists, it will be displayed there. If you put in Burbank and Santa Barbara, there is a preferred route, and it is the TEC route. So the TEC route is BURP39, the same thing that showed up as preferred in Skyvector. You can see that the flight plan for BURP39 is Fillmore, Victor 186, Diano, Victor 27, Quang. Under altitude, it has JMPQ 60. 60 is the altitude, which is 6,000 feet, and JMPQ is the type of aircraft this applies to. Jets, turboprops, non-jets at 190 knots or greater cruise speed, and Q is non-jets less than 189. Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't know about TEC routes, so you cannot just enter BURP39. But it tells you what the IFR flight plan is, so you can manually enter that by selecting IFR low altitude airways and then putting all of your waypoints in. We also know that the TEC route has us cruising at 6,000, so we'll put 6,000 in for cruise altitude. The actual approach is going to have different altitudes than the default that's filled in here, so we'll manually adjust those in our flight computer once we get started. Although the option to select the VOR approach is available in the pick list up at the top, we're going to manually enter it into our flight computer because I've been having some issues with Microsoft Flight Simulator approaches and a homicidal autopilot. Once you get this set up, be sure to hit spacebar, click save, and then you can save this as BURP39 and then load up your own TEC route and have it ready to go anytime you want to fly it. I got both of these airports from the year-end sale from Orbx. And you know, you just can't beat Orbx airports, so I will scoff them up whenever they're available, and definitely when they're on sale. Okay, let's brief the flight while we get everything started up here in the TBM. So we will be flying the Van Nuys 3 departure with the Fillmore transition. So if you're not quite sure where to look on the departure plate here, down on the right where it says takeoff minimums, the airport is just to the northwest of that on the map. Based on the winds at 270, we will expect to runway 26, which means we need a minimum climb of 305 feet per nautical mile up to 5,000 feet, which should be a piece of cake for the TBM. On departure, once we're at 400 feet and cleared the runway, we'll execute a climbing right turn to heading 293. Then we'll expect radar vectors to the Van Nuys VOR. We're doing the Fillmore transition, so from the Van Nuys VOR, we will follow the 255 radial from the Van Nuys VOR. At the intersection of the 120 radial from Fillmore VOR, we'll follow it to the Fillmore VOR. If you're wondering why they don't just send us direct Fillmore, it makes a little more sense if you look at the VFR map. So direct Fillmore would take us by mountains, whereas this will keep us clear of them. And direct Fillmore would also take us past the departure end of the Van Nuys runways, whereas this will overfly the airport, so it's going to keep us safe. From Fillmore, we'll follow the Victor 186 and Victor 27 radials to Diano at 6,000 feet. From Diano, we'll descend to 3,000 feet for our initial approach fix of Quang, and then from Quang, we'll turn onto the 279 radial from Gaviota, and that will set us up for the VOR runway 25 approach to Santa Barbara. Since our approach speed is less than 90 knots, we are category A. That makes our minimum descent altitude 920 feet, with our runway visual range of 1¼ miles. We are approaching on the 279er radial, but the magnetic heading of the runway is 269er, so we've got a 10-degree turn on final to line up with the runway. And that's it. So should be a little challenging. It's a lot of fun. We're flying a tech route. We've got a VOR approach. We're flying the TBM, so I'm looking forward to it. So we'll finish getting everything started up here, and then we will get on our way.
8017, just verify you have the field in sight. 8017 has the field in sight. And flight 8017, circle south runway 33, wind 350.
Alright, our flight plan is loaded correctly into the FMC, so we're going to just change the altitudes for the last couple waypoints to match the VOR approach requirements. And we'll also want to put in the frequencies of the 3 VORs we're going to use, so we'll put those on nav 1 and nav 2 along with the standby frequencies.
17, turn left at Bravo 3, left on Bravo.
We're streaming live ATC from live ATC Net from Burbank Airport for this trip. You know, I really enjoy listening to the real ATC from the airport that I'm taking off of. I'll be making radio calls as if I'm talking to a controller. You know, it's really good practice, so if you can make the call correctly without hearing it, then you've got a pretty good chance of being able to know what to say when someone actually says it to you. Clearance delivery, good afternoon. November 359er Golf Charlie, requesting IFR clearance to Santa Barbara. Cleared to Santa Barbara via the Van Nuys 3 departure, Fillmore transition, then is filed. Maintain 5,000, expect 6,000, 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 120.4, squawk 3412, November 359er Golf Charlie. Burbank ground, November 359er Golf Charlie with information Sierra. North ramp near Delta 7, request taxi. Taxi, runway 26 via Delta, Delta 1, cross runway 33, November 359er Golf Charlie.
Zero Sierra cross runway 33 at Bravo 3, taxi via Alpha, hold short runway 26. Peace. 28.75 and squawk 7224.
Burbank Tower, November 359er Golf Charlie, holding short, runway 26. Cleared for departure, runway 26, November 359er Golf Charlie.
47224, and your question at the end was cut off.
Do you want to go to an appropriate direction for flight, like 85?
I'll go to 85, thank you, appreciate that.
No problem.
Someone say approach request.
Credit.
Like that, descend and maintain 5,000. And next control, we're happy clearance for you.
Alright, we're at 400 feet and we've got the marker indicating we've cleared the end of the runway, so we'll make our initial turn.
Sierra contact, SoCal departure, see you later. Hangar departure, have a good one, thanks.
Everything's set up, so we'll kick on the autopilot and enjoy some of that awesome Microsoft Flight Simulator scenery. Alright, that scenery was once again amazing. We had a great cloudy sky and I got to fly through some clouds in my IFR flight, so that was awesome. It was a challenge doing the tech route and the VOR approach, and I learned something. You know, it's the first time I've done a tech route, so hopefully you've learned something too from the demo of how to set it up, and now you too can do the same thing with Microsoft Flight Simulator and Skyvector. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. As always, thanks a lot for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.